Welcome to Mount Olive, New Jersey for that's live lacrosse. Matt Shortis and Tracy Weiner with you as we get ready for some club lacrosse between Steps and the Connecticut Grizzlies, the rising junior class of 2022. And Tracy, it's not been since March 12th, right before everything started to close with quarantine, that we've had real live sporting events. Things are starting to get going across the United States with Major League Baseball, with the NBA back in action, and now high school lacrosse. We're a couple booths away from each other right now, but we're the same distance from the field, and we're excited to be here, as are all of these players, I'm sure, ready and raring to go to get back to action. Yeah,
I can't imagine what the girls are feeling right now in this moment. I would think that they're super excited, hearts are pounding. It has been a long time. It sounds like, you only say since March, but as a high school coach, I can tell you it feels like forever. And with the pace that we're used to keeping in the springtime, going from high school sports right into your summer circuit, your camps, your tournaments, the whole 9 yards, and then that doesn't end, then you go right into your fall sports. It just seems like it's been an endless summer break, and I know that everybody's super excited. Like you said, all the sports are back in action. The PLL is back in action. The MLL just finished up their season. So it is time to get back to our new normal, Matt.
And for many of these girls, we talked about it, it's the rising juniors. They missed their sophomore high school season, so this is a big moment for them and a big opportunity for many of them on the field today.
It sure is, and I know that nerves are going to take over the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then after that, it's just lacrosse 101 for these young ladies. They're excited, we're excited. I just can't wait for the first draw to happen.
Steps Elite and the Connecticut Grizzlies are coming your way. It's all coming up next on Lacrosse Sports Network. We welcome you back to Mount Olive High School in Mount Olive, New Jersey. Matt Shortis, Tracy Weiner with you as we get ready to start some live lacrosse at the high school level. Steps Elite out of New Jersey, the Connecticut Grizzlies, and they are wearing white, Steps is in blue, and we are just about ready to go, Tracy.
So exciting. I'm just so happy to be here right now watching a live girls lacrosse game.
So Sarah Gresham will take the draw for Steps. And the first draw controlled by Steps as they move right to left here. And Tracy, you've been running camps out on Long Island, not too far from here. Here's a pass towards the interior circle that's broken up and then picked up by Connecticut. What do you expect to see as far as like fitness, things in terms of connectivity, that sort of thing early on here?
You're going to see a little rust, I would imagine. Hopefully they'll play through that real quick. Right now it's going to be nerves. The adrenaline's flying, but you have to remember also it is a warm day today.
It is.
So, I mean, between the heat and the excitement, the first 10 minutes could be a little sloppy.
Here's Molly McGuckin back behind the cage, and now it's Ellie Hansen.
I would pull it out, be patient, let everybody touch the ball, and let everybody get into the game before I go right to goal.
Yeah, you mentioned the temperature. I know we were talking pregame. Both our car thermometers registered in triple digits.
Correct.
On our way over here, so it's a pretty warm one. Fortunately, this is a 6 o'clock start rather than like a 3 o'clock start, where that might be a little bit tougher. Here's Cece Stein.
Unlike the college game, Matt, you'll see here there's no shot clock. So the girls can, hold on to it. They're playing a 30-minute running time today, so should be, it's a nice way to break into the first game in a long time.
So free position opportunity coming for Molly McGuckin, one of many Darien players on this team. McGuckin moving inside, shooting and scoring as she falls down. And the first goal of the game comes just inside 2 minutes in, and McGuckin puts Connecticut on the board.
And you'll see McGuckin's move. She takes a diagonal path to the cage, which makes the defenders on her back. She would have got another shot, I believe, had she not scored on this. You'll see here, she's already set up. She's a little right of the cage. If you're staring at the cage, she goes on a diagonal, and the defender then has to get into her space and cause another foul. So even if she had not scored, she would have gotten another shot.
Mentioned the many Darien players on this Connecticut team, Tracy. Lisa Lindley, the head coach of this team, a longtime head coach at Darien, head of the Blue Wave.
Yes, I've played them many, many a time. That was a violation in the circle on Darien, so Steps will get the draw.
So Steps trying to even things up. You know, even from the girls that you've talked to, there's been so many different things in place as players tried to stay fresh during quarantine, tried to stay fit, tried to keep connection with all the girls that they would normally be seeing face to face almost all day long in school and on the field.
Well, there's one thing, you know, to running and being fit, and there's another thing for game fit, and that's two separate scenarios, as you know. The one thing that I think a lot of girls should have worked on during this quarantine is their stick work, because there was really nothing else to do, and that, you know, is just you and your stick becoming one, and it's such an important part of the game.
As take a look here at the Grizzlies, what they've got on attack, and we already heard from Molly McGuckin with the first goal, as Connecticut is trying to clear as Shea Dolce holding the ball. This is the midfielders with Patton and Ramsey, CC Stein in the starting lineup. And back to the defense. Samantha Barlow head up there. Here's a nice clear for Connecticut, and they've got numbers. Grizzlies on the move, top shelf goal. Hollis Mulry. And the Grizzlies take a 2-0 lead.
Boy, that was a tough one for the goalie. It was a 2-on nobody. You don't know what to do. You see, you know, she just kind of sits in the cage, doesn't really make a move, wants to see if it's going to get passed off. But this is a 1-on no one. And she, you know, Mulry faked high, went high. Normally, you know, you fake high and the goalie tries to, you know, figure out what you're going to do and maybe hitch it a little low. But she faked high, went high.
And she had the option there. Evelyn Hitty was flanking her right side. Mulry confident in her abilities and took the shot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an attacker, that's a shot that you're trained to take every day of your life.
So Connecticut off to a good start. The CT Grizzlies, you know, even in the parking lot showing up here, there was a good Connecticut crowd, good representation of the blue and white license plates in the parking lot.
The Blue Wave is very supportive of their girls, for sure.
As fans are in attendance today. Face masks aplenty in the stands below us. So Steps here, nice look inside, deflected away, and Dolce's got it.
Well, you know, that's the second time that Steps has made the right play. They're just having trouble with the connection. So it's, you know, it's just a draw and it's a dump down, you know, towards the goal, but the connection just isn't there at this moment.
So Dolce made the nice outlet pass to create on that last goal and gets another one up here. CT looking crisp early on in some of their passing.
Absolutely. Great transition. Such a big part of the game.
There's Evelyn Hitty behind the cage at X.
They're also being patient. You know, I think Steps could have been a little patient on that last play. You're down 2-0. That was an important, you know, time to make sure you get a high percentage shot.
Callahan moving it around, and just as you were talking about, Tracy, that patience, everybody got a touch here. Ball dislodged just in front of the cage, but the Grizzlies connect, or recover rather. Kaylee Harden had it for a moment. And now, as you mentioned, again, they'll take it back out, allow some time here. Curl up top, pass a little bit behind the intended target of Hitty. And here comes Steps out of the pack.
Yeah, they were setting up the classic draw and dump there. We call that 52 most of the time. And although the Steps girl did go to double team, and the Grizzly player was wide open, there was no way to get that pass through.
Kira Savage able to backtrack a little bit for Steps and allow them the opportunity and the spacing to clear this and move back on offense.
This is an important possession for Steps here. They really need to get on the board.
We played about 5 minutes here. 30-minute running time halves, and we'll take a timeout for some water and whatnot under the 15-minute mark when we have a dead ball. Wazicki looks back up top, dump in the middle, turn around, but Lily Murphy couldn't hold on to it. And the Grizzlies have it. Here's a look at the Steps roster for today. The attackers, just heard from Wazicki. And in the midfield, Fabio Gresham. Kosei among the defense. Buckley and Romeo, the goalies there. There's Callahan up top for the Grizzlies. Pass off the top of the stick head of Stein, and that'll be a turnover. First real unforced error of the game today.
Yeah, Stein was looking to make her move before she actually caught the ball. She was kind of a half a step ahead of herself on that one.
Tracy, you mentioned in our open and right at the start here, the girls and the nerves, the energy as we're starting this one. We're 5 minutes in, a little over 5 minutes in. It's probably all kind of calmed down now by this point.
Without a doubt, definitely has calmed down. Everybody's now just into the flow of the game until the next wave of subs comes in, because that'll be their first time on the field.
We resume play after that whistle. Zanelli, first touch of the game for her. Draws a double team, up top it comes. CT doing a nice job of protecting the crease, as Steps has looked that way a couple of times today, and they've been able to knock down passes. Roll dodge, and again, good help defense. Ball to the carpet, and a whistle against the Grizzlies, so Steps will keep it on a push from behind.
Yeah, I just feel like right now the Grizzlies are moving well. They're exchanging well on the defensive end. Their slides are where they need to be. But I do see that there are Steps players that are open, but the girls just out of not playing together for this whole time are just missing that small window of being wide open.
Goggerty. And that 12-meter circle around to a cutter. Roll dodge, turning inside, and a good stick check from behind. Dislodges the ball, scooped up quickly by Kaylee Harden.
Harden made a great back check on that. And for those of you that, are watching this game and we talk about the sport of lacrosse and stick work, that's all about protection in the critical scoring area. You make your move, you have to assume when you're in the 8-meter that the defense is going to drop back on you, so you cannot bring your stick all the way back to take that power shot.
Harden not only creating the turnover, but collecting the ball herself.
Here's a Grizzly player that just busted out off the sideline. They just missed her.
I mean, a good Darien presence. They wear blue and white. Easy to make that
assertion. I know.
Yeah.
Not everybody on the Grizzlies is from Darien. I gotta remember that.
well represented.
Correct.
Now we got Staples, Wilton.
Yes, New Canaan, whole bunch of.
A lot of the powerhouse public
Greenwich
school programs in Connecticut.
Absolutely.
Things have settled down a little bit here in the last few minutes.
They have. I'd like to see Steps, though, work the ball a little more. Right now, they're more in the 1v1. And again,
look inside and shot just going wide.
When the ball moves faster than the defense, always, you skip those passes around in this heat. You want to start to exhaust the defense a little bit.
Reagan Wazicki trying to back her way in, moves it back up top. Wazicki again, goal line extended, looking for that crease. Dolce came out to play it, but couldn't. And a turnaround shot by Lily Murphy gives Steps their first goal of the game.
And I'm going to tell you what, Matt, Lily Murphy was open for about 30 seconds. Nobody saw her. She was standing there jumping up and down in the middle of the 8-meter. And the goalie almost picked that off, and that allowed the goal. So that's either, I'm going to give myself up, I'm going to steal it and start a fast break the other way, or I'm going to give up a goal, and that's what happened.
They've been looking for that pretty much since their first possession, and finally coming through a little more than 10 minutes into this contest.
Absolutely. It's such a big goal because there was a few times, I mean, honestly, the Grizzlies could be up 4-0 by now if they had converted on some of those steps and misses. But, you know, you just got to hang in there, and this is a game of ebbs and flows all the time. So Steps gets the first one on the board. Let's see if they can string a few together.
See the players out there wearing face masks as well. As a whistle on the draw control, it'll go to the Grizzlies. Tracy, I don't know about you, this is kind of just like regular real life stuff. Even doing some of like the mundane, regular day-to-day things that you would normally take for granted, even that kind of getting back to those things seems a little weird and unusual as you're first doing those, like going to the grocery store, getting a haircut. I can only imagine playing in a lacrosse game.
You can imagine, for me, it was, you know, I mean, I'm used to going out to dinner 5 nights a week, so I was not built to be a stay-at-home, you know, housewife. So getting to go out to dinner again was my favorite experience so far.
Looking right in the crease, shot saved. Nice save down low. And a scrum for it comes out.
That was a nice setup all around. Good shot, good save. Goalie standing her ground on that one.
Dylan Patton picks up the ground ball. Well done by Lauren Buckley. Here's Piper Fitzgerald, look down low and a shot going wide. Backing up for the Grizz is Hollis Mulry.
Fitzgerald had a nice move on that, and what she probably needed to do was accelerate towards the goal instead of taking, you know, a shot where she's really not able to visually see the cage.
Lebeck coming around the far side of the cage, goal line extended. Draws the defense out to her as she dances all the way up to the top of the 12-meter. This is Mulry. Roll dodge, left-handed. Right now, switches to the right and moves it back to X. And as you've spoken about this, Tracy, Connecticut being very patient offensively, longer offensive possessions. Steps just had a big one, long one moment ago, but everybody's touching the ball each time down the field for the Grizz.
Yeah, and they're doing a double stack right now, so it's, so they're going on X and they're doing a double stack, and they leave one up top as a safety and 2 behind. So that takes a while to develop to begin with. So it's a good thing to run when you are in the hot weather, in the heat. Not too much motion where you're exhausting your attackers, but you are keeping the defense on their toes.
So we have a restart here with Mulry on a low angle. Here's herself. She's going right towards the cage. Fakes low, shoots high, and scores.
That was a nice move. You know, her first step is so quick that the defense literally cannot get to her. Mulry with her second.
I mean, you see somebody lining up at that angle, you kind of just assume they might move in towards the cage but pass it off. She was looking shot the whole way.
Well, she's a lefty, so and if she's not, she looks like she is. So when your left hand is that strong, it's such a bonus when you get that hash mark.
So as Tracy mentioned, Mulry's second goal today, as the Grizzlies now up 3-1.
You know, Matt, it's important to notice that every time they set up for a draw, both the girls taking the draw plus the officials have to be in a mask, because that is the closest contact that the players will be on the field.
Draw controlled by Connecticut. And Tracy, as you're doing, your camps and running your clinics, what are some of the safety procedures, mask, temperature things, those sorts of things that you're putting in place, and I'm sure the Grizzlies and Step and other teams have in place at the moment?
Without a doubt. I mean, there's certainly sanitizing stations. There's no congregating of players. No handshaking. Girls are already divided up into their small groups that they head right to. There's just no, we watch how many kids use the restroom at one time. Obviously, there's a waiver they have to sign, plus the night before camp each night they have to do a pre-screen with their parents, taking temperatures, things of that nature. We do everything that we humanly can. It's just different. I like to always call the kids together and do those kinds of things, and we're not allowed to do that anymore.
Sure.
Again, you watch the Grizzlies' offense is so patient. I love it. And that really exhausts the defense, because they're constantly, heads are turning. They're looking, who's cutting, who's doing this. And it's not a bam-bam, where you can get a chance to rest. This defense has been on the go for the first 15 minutes of this game, basically.
Yeah, it's been a lot of time possession dominated by the Grizzlies in this first quarter of play.
Yeah, it's exhausting to the midfielders as well, because they're, on defense, you can't rest on defense.
Good first step, a pass deflected away, and Steps has it. Caught a break there defensively.
Absolutely, that was a nice double there. It's one of the few times that the Grizzlies have forced a pass, and again, you have all the time in the world. There's no shot clock, so there's no need for that.
So Steps trying to clear it. 2-goal margin right now with the Grizzlies on top. And as we approach the 15-minute mark, the next dead ball will have a stoppage.
If I'm a Darien defensive player, Darien again. If I'm a Grizzlies defensive player right now, I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm feeling pretty fresh.
Or as fresh as one can after such a long layoff, for sure.
Correct.
Caitlin Davies. And a whistle, this will give us an 8-meter.
Yep, obstruction of shooting space. So Davies beat her player, and the next defender that slid in obstructed her shooting space.
So Davies just right of center. Couple steps in, lefty shot high over the crossbar, and Steps there backing up on the end line, so they'll hold on to the possession.
I'd like to take a survey right about now, Maddie, and see how many of the kids that are watching this that aren't playing wish they were on the field right now and missing this type of lacrosse, whether you're a collegiate player, a pro player, high school player. You got to be watching this saying, boy, I wish it was me.
Yeah, everybody kind of chomping at the bit to get back to the things they love. Turnover. And Steps able to recover, though, on the ride, and the redefend. Out of traffic. Here comes Sarah Gresham, got the ground ball. Look on the crease, knocked down by the Grizzlies. And Tracy, that goes for us. We got the call asking us to do this, and we were excited.
I was so excited. I was like, I thank Charlie Schoberg so much for giving me this opportunity to get back into the booth. We miss it so much. And again, this is our normal, Maddie. So, for you and I, this is something that we do on a regular basis.
So under 15 minutes to go in the first half. We'll take a break. The Grizzlies on top, 3-1. We would like to welcome the college coaching community taking in the action this evening. A reminder, download the Event Beacon app today for access to roster information. Back at Mount Olive High School. Tracy, I know you said you had college coaches blowing up your phone already watching this.
Already, yes. They must miss my my Long Island accent. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But, it's a great community, the lacrosse community, Matt. Everybody looks out for each other. Everybody cares for each other. We all pretty much are interconnected, so everybody's feeling, the loss of what's going on right now, and it's affecting everyone. So I think everybody's pretty excited to watch this game today, and I'm happy that, we can maybe start to get back to our normal activities.
Yeah, it's certainly unique that that people not only around the country but globally are all kind of in the same situation together at the same time, going through the same experiences.
Sure.
It's definitely happened in the course of human history, but not in recent memory for sure.
Without a doubt. I did miss the college season, though. I absolutely loved it. And you watched North Carolina play a few games, and they just looked like they had a special squad this year, and you wanted to see if anybody could sneak up and catch them. So I was really looking forward to that, and the season unfortunately got cut short.
Yeah, it's hard to remember with everything going on, and you know, obviously, college lacrosse overlaps with the end of college hoops and all these other things. So it got a very short start before things were put down. Here's Steps, nice job, and trying to recover on the crease. The Grizzlies swarm very quickly defensively.
Okay, but that's the definition of rust right there, because I'm telling you, a year ago, that's a slam dunk goal. You know, it's a steal off of a play, standing in front of the cage by yourself, goalie out of the cage. I think she just tried to rush that shot a little bit. You know, you just get so excited that you're standing in front of the cage without any goalie on you for the first time in a year.
Your eyes get big.
100%.
Dolce, a long pass picked up off the turf by Mulry, who's already got a couple today. She lost it on the transfer. Good job defending by Sophie Wilkinson out of Randolph, New Jersey. High pass intercepted. And Morgan Lebick. Lebick looking on the crease. And Steps will have it after the whistle. Looked like it was in that halo area.
And again, another opportunity by the Grizzlies missed. They had a player standing in front of the cage with nobody on her and just did not make that connection.
So back and forth in the last 2 minutes, we've had goals that might have been in mid-season form. Here comes Steps on a quick move. Shot wide from Caitlin Davies.
Caitlin Davies may get a yellow card for either oh, it's not her, so it's going to be the defender. Okay, I wasn't sure if Davies shot and the defender got in the way. And maybe it was a dangerous follow-through, but it's going to be a yellow card on Maddie Holden, I believe, for too physical on that push.
So Steps will be player up for the next couple of minutes. And Davies will align herself for a free position. Pretty much straight away, bouncing it through underneath the legs of Shea Dolce, and Steps pulls to within one.
That was a nice play by Davies from start to finish. You know, she made a great aggressive move to the cage, got her 8 meter, and you know, you see here she does have a little bit of space, but her first step is so quick she just beats everybody to the hole and then buries it. Right there, you see, just a quick first step. Looks like she's going to come across her body and instead goes inside out. It's interesting, you know, Matt, from this game, from everything that we're announcing, all we're talking about is how the Grizzlies are dominating, but you look at the scoreboard and they're allowing Steps to stay in this game. And you and I both know as the game, you know, everybody gets comfortable now, and you see that the fact that the Grizzlies could not make a bigger cushion, this game could be right down to the wire moving forward.
We got a 1-goal game right now, and Steps wins the ensuing draw. You talk about all the time, whether it's the guys' game winning the face-off, or in the girls' game and getting the draw. That's how comebacks are made.
The draw is such an important part of the game. I love watching Mike Walsh coach because he runs up and down the sidelines with the girls. He's hilarious.
Getting Steps in the Fitbit while he's coaching. Bit of contact. Play continues, though. Steps has it. This is Chase Melchioni. Swatted at underneath, and Dolce covers it up.
Boy, Zanelli had an unbelievable opportunity there and just was unable to get that shot off quickly.
We're inside 10 minutes to play in the first half. In this lacrosse doubleheader, after this game at 8 o'clock Eastern time, we'll have the Steps 2021 boys versus New Jersey Riot Chaos of 2021. So rising seniors, or rising juniors into seniors.
So they're rising seniors.
Rising
they're 21.
seniors, yeah.
Rising
Thank
seniors.
You. I was right the first time.
You were, 100%. This is a beautiful facility here. I'm really, what a great place to host these games.
It's modeled after the University of Louisville's soccer complex. We got some stanchions. There's a facade. Really gives it kind of like an old school baseball field kind of look.
It's really nice. Now you'll see right here, so they had a man down, so they're going to pull it out, get their sea legs out from under them, and the Grizzlies going to be real patient on this play.
Callahan got rid of it, gets it back on the crease and puts it home.
And again, they ran that 52 play. This time they did it on the right side if you're facing the cage. Last time they did it off the left side. But all they're doing is a side stack. You know, one player's high on the elbow, one player's rolling the crease. When the defense drops to double, as soon as that defender leaves, the girl on the elbow takes off for the cage, and it's a draw and dump. And they're working it perfectly. What's happening is Steps is missing that slide from the stack that should be picking up the girl that's left open on the double team. And you'll see right here, see, there it is, wide open over the top. There's no slide right there. And that's from the gameplay, Matt, not really going over those things, because normally by July, August, that would be completely corrected.
Callahan, the goal scorer, Mulry, the assister there. Two Darien teammates, so very familiar with each other. So they already have the chemistry down. Whistle on the draw control, and it'll be Grizzlies possession. This is Callahan to score the goal a moment ago. Mulry has had a hand in 3 of the 4 Connecticut points, or Connecticut goals.
See if they make an adjustment on that in the second half, who they have guarding her.
Here she is again, far side, curling. And we've seen her on the near side with the strong left hand that she has. They cycle it back around at X. Roll dodge moving inside, splits the defense, and we'll have an 8-meter coming up after that. Molly McGuckin, who got the scoring started early on.
You watch McGuckin on this, she beats everybody, and then at the last minute, just, you know, as a desperation check, too close to the sphere.
McGuckin just off the left hash, bounces it, and scores. Goal number 2 today for McGuckin, and 2 quick goals inside about 90 seconds of each other. And the Grizzlies have their largest lead today at 5-2.
Starting to distance themselves a little bit. You know, the 8 meters are so difficult to defend. And as a goalie, it's almost impossible if the attacker gets that first step and there's no defenders pressuring her.
Connecticut came out, scored the game's first 2 goals, led 3-1 at around the midway point of the first half. Goal about 3 minutes ago by Steps to cut it to 1, but a quick rally from Connecticut to answer back, and they have their largest lead today.
Yeah, what can happen right now is you don't want to go into the halftime, you know, being down 5, 6, 7 goals. So they really need to stop the Grizzlies' run right now.
Still a good amount of time left in this first half, under 7 minutes to play.
What Steps can't do here is force it.
Here they go again, looking in the crease, and a nice adjustment as the defender was coming. Catherine Zanelli able to send it to the back of the net.
And Zanelli had that last play before, the same exact one. This one she buries. She's pretty, you know, shifty in the fact that she's always able to get open. And for the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of this game, when you watch, Zanelli just kind of hides around the crease and always finds a way to be open. Makes a backhanded catch and then gets her stick strong side and buries it. And you'll see her slip in right about now. So you see the defender on the pipe, you know, has her back to her, so she's able to slide in. And Barlow just doesn't see her coming in from the back side.
And both Connecticut defenders that were hugging goal line extended area, they each were keying in on a player at X, so she was able to kind of come in undetected.
Yeah, and if Zanelli's as, you know, crafty and shifty as we think she is, once you lose your defender up top, it's up to those girls on the low post to be able to see the ball, see the men, the girls that are running around the 8-meter.
So close competitive game so far. First live action lacrosse in New Jersey in a while. Here's another look on the crease, and Steps all of a sudden has found their stride. Back-to-back goals for the Navy and for Zanelli. And it's a 1-goal game once more.
And so, Zanelli might be having that conversation with her mates, saying, hey, I think I can beat my defender, so watch for me cutting down Broadway. It's the second time she's wide open.
Zanelli assisted by number 47, Reagan.
Pass was right on the money, too. Very patient, right there. That's a great feed in between two defenders.
Zicki.
And what I would let
there.
And again, if you're been doing this for a while, you might want to tell that low post defender, hey, get out there and don't let her hand so free. Force her to kind of have to make a decision there instead of allowing her just to kind of sit back and watch the play in front of her develop.
So Lisa Lindley, the head coach for the CT Grizzlies, taking the timeout here. Wanted to talk some things over defensively. And that's pretty much offensively, Tracy, been the aim, the goal of Steps so far from what we've seen. Even from first whistle, they've been feeding from around X, from goal line extended, that like just above GLE,
yes,
and looking right on the crease there.
Well, it's, and that's just a coaching philosophy. Me personally, I just like to put somebody in someone's personal space. Girls don't like girls in their personal space. So you want to kind of force her to have to make a decision. It's so much easier, and again, you don't want to give up the crease roll. I understand that. But to allow her to sit back there and just kind of survey the land until the defense breaks down. Sometimes that works in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. But I think, Lisa Lindley's message right now to her team is, we work so hard to get ahead 5-2, and then in less than a minute, ladies, now we're back to the dogfight. We need to protect the lead, we need to protect the ball, and we need to make better decisions in the defensive end in terms of making sure that we don't allow the shifty players to slide under.
Grizzlies had opened up that 3-goal advantage. They had 2 goals within a minute and 26 seconds of each other. And then Steps scoring back-to-back goals 25 seconds apart. So you talked about it. They fought hard to extend that lead, and Steps able to fight back very quickly to close the gap once more to 1.
Can't let a team hang around. When a team hangs around, they get their confidence.
Ashley Thomas. Pardon me, Tegan Kose at the draw control circle for Steps. And the Grizzlies ground ball, Kaylee Harden taking that draw. Here come the Grizzlies with numbers if they hurry. Nice dodge at the top of the circle, and putting it home was Evelyn Hitty. Pardon me, Cece Stein. So Stein gets the goal, and, well, good timeout for Lisa Lindley as it pays off.
Well, and Stein is that type of player that can go coast to coast. I mean, she is one of the more dynamic players out there that really, once the ball is in her stick, she's just such a weapon. An unbelievable just coast to coast right there. Wasn't going to be stopped. Once she got that head of steam, boy, she just took off, and left hand, just a power shot right there. Goalie had no chance for that.
So Cece Stein getting her first goal today.
A white violation on the circle. She moved before the whistle.
Tegan Kose brought it in for Steps. And these two teams going back and forth now, goal for goal, as the scoring all of a sudden is opening up. Chase Melchioni putting that one home.
Yeah, Melchione, I thought we would say her name a little sooner than now. So, and again, it's just, you know, getting your familiarity back, getting your stick on the ball, getting the nerves out of your system. And now you're going to start to see, you know, some players really begin to step up as now they're back into their comfort zone. Nice play. Split the two defenders. Goes right to Cole. Gets the one step right there, and then the second slide is just a little late, able to bury it.
Tracy, through the first 20-plus minutes of this game, we had 5 total goals. And 6 in the last, let's say, 5 minutes or so, 3 minutes of game time.
Well, it's been a long time since these girls have played 30 minutes straight through like this. And to be honest with you, that's not a normal game time. It's normally 25-minute halves.
Yep.
So they might just be, you know, feeling it in the legs just a little bit. But, I mean, what are they, 16 years old, Maddie?
Yeah, the high school, regular public school rules, 25-minute halves, so going with a little bit more of a college approach to this one.
Love it.
For the guys' game after this as well, I think we're doing 15-minute quarters. Hard-fought ground ball. And Stein coming away with it after the goal she scored a moment ago. Stein going to the rack, shoots it high. And the Grizzlies are there to back up. So we get to see a bit more of this patient offense.
Yeah, they keep the defense spread nicely. So, you know, you leave the two behind, and then everybody else goes up top. Everybody else stays wide. You see they're on the 20, 25-yard line. And it makes the defense come out a little and play you, and it allows the 1v1s down low instead of just packing everything in. It's just all offenses should be between the 20 and 25.
Come back to Mulry behind the cage. To a Dodger, down low, and that one goes in. McGuckin has her third today, and CT back up by 2.
And that was a nice move. You know what I like about McGuckin, and if you're watching this game and you want to know the finer points about it, is you got to take a hit and keep on going if you want to play offense in this game and be a goal scorer. That was 3 defenders crunched in on her, and she still found a way to score. That's just a tough kid right there.
An awesome agility, turning towards that right shoulder right after she received the pass. Allowed her to get a step on 1 and 2 defenders.
I mean, it's the defense's job to create that contact, and the offense has to learn how to take a hit and keep on going.
So McGuckin the hat trick here in the first half. Her and Mulry doing the damage for the Grizzlies. Steps controlling the draw here. Again, the last few minutes, these two teams have been going goal for goal, responding on the ensuing possession. But the Grizzlies coming up with a defensive stop here and regaining possession. There's Callahan, who had a goal a few minutes ago. Roll dodge up top, and a goal for the Grizzlies. Extending the lead, the largest of the afternoon for Connecticut, as Dylan Patton has her first goal today.
And again, by staying so wide, you watch the play develop. You see right here, there's no defenders in her way. Once she makes the turn off the crease, and if you're a fast attacker, 99.9 of them can make that turn on a defender and roll. There has to be a slide, but that comes with repetition of playing this game. And right now the Grizzlies are taking advantage of that. It's so interesting. You know, here we keep talking about Steps making the comeback, but they never close the gap to more than 2, Matt. And now again, they're down by 3 with 3.5 minutes or so to go. And if Connecticut scores again right here, and they go 4 or 5 goals down going into the second half, that's going to be quite an uphill battle.
Definitely has been a game of runs or mini spurts in the last few moments. We had the back-to-back goals by the Grizzlies to make it 5-2, then back-to-back by Steps, trading a couple after that, and 2 more added in the last 40 seconds by the Grizzlies.
I just feel like both teams have figured out the weak spots right now in the defensive zone, and it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments that are made in the second half. I would say that 90% of the Grizzlies' goals have come off that crease roll off of the elbow, and 90% of the Steps goals have come from that, pass from X with the defender cutting down Broadway. The attacker, I'm sorry, cutting down Broadway.
Closing in on the 2-minute mark of this first half. This will be an 8-meter shot coming up.
And you'll notice now in the 8 meters, the defenders are not allowed to go on the pie slices. They have to vacate that area.
Roll dodge inside, a save made by Dolce. Big stop.
And if you're Connecticut right here, after a big save by your goal, you just hold for the last shot. See if you can go up with a 4-goal lead at halftime.
A lot of the chatter from Connecticut as they try to clear this. Dolce looking for Callahan, knocked away by Gresham. Gresham able to scoop it up as well.
And this is another one where Steps should also hold for the last shot. So you're either going down by 3 or down by 2. See if they're going to be patient or they're going to go right to goal.
Final minute of play in this first half. Look to the crease and a whistle.
It's a big 8-meter right here.
Firing low and scoring, DeFabio. Margaret DeFabio, a much-needed goal for Steps. They cut it back to 2.
That really ricocheted right off the turf. I kind of felt like goalie was right on that, and yet it just, Dulce just missed that one under her stick.
By number 31, Margaret DeFabio.
You'll see right here, she's there. It just right under. She even taps her stick on the ground. She knew that she read it correctly, Dulce, but she just could not get the stick down in time.
So 44 seconds left following this draw. In a close, competitive game. Definitely seen signs of rusted times, but that seems to be getting shaken off as we get longer into this game. Steps will have it.
Now Steps has to push it. They have 39 seconds to try to close this gap even tighter to 1 goal. That would be unbelievable.
Gresham trying to, Steps is able to keep that in play. It looked like it was going to go out of bounds. So 24 seconds left.
I saw your best girl here, ladies. Everybody else get out of the way.
There's Caitlin Davies. Davies on the run. Dulce able to stop it. And Dulce will hold on and let time run out on this first half and preserve a 2-goal advantage heading into halftime for Connecticut.
We have the Connecticut Grizzlies 8 and Steps 6.
2 big stops for Dulce. I the end of that first half.
Without a doubt. And again, it went back and forth after a while. Once the nerves were out, it turned into the shooting gallery, which we love. And I just thought it was just a well-played first half. Everybody's trying to feel each other out. Everybody's getting all the rust off and the cobwebs out of there, whatever other analogy we want to use. But I'm curious to see the second half adjustments, again, in terms of slowing down some of these offenses.
So for a lot of these girls, first action back, getting some opportunity to play in front of fans, play a real game, and an overall entertaining, competitive, a fun environment as well.
Oh, so exciting, so fun. Everybody's just happy to be here, like I say.
All right, so we'll step aside at halftime. It's the CT Grizzlies leading Steps by 2 goals here from Mount Olive, New Jersey. We'll be back in a moment with halftime festivities. We are moments away from the opening draw control of the second half. Just about a minute left. We're booths apart here, and Tracy is off her headset, so I'm trying to wave her down to get her attention to put her headset back on. Oh, here she comes. So Tracy, we're as I was just saying, we're booths away, so it's sometimes hard to communicate.
Sorry.
It's all right. We have to wave each other down.
Absolutely.
But during the game, we're like looking however 12 feet apart or however many we are.
I mean, I've done so many games with you, Manny, that I know when you really need for me to speak.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, we're able to see each other. That helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say one of the remarkable things about this game is how unremarkable it is from if you didn't know there was something else going on around this game, you would just know it was a lacrosse game.
Absolutely. It does look fairly normal, except for the draw.
Yeah, the draw where both players have to wear a mask or face covering.
And the official puts a face covering on as well.
And the official.
You know, if you're asking me, most of the officials wear eye covering, but you know how I feel about officials.
Tracy, I think you've had words with officials a time or two.
Just a few hallmark ones.
And it seems like most of the players are favoring the can't remember the wording for them, but the ones that are kind of like a sleeve that fit around your neck and you can pull it back up.
Yeah, everybody likes those. Those are the most comfortable, I think.
And then you could get them in like the the athletic material that's nice and stretchy.
Correct.
Slides down easily if you need it to.
A lot of them are custom made now as well.
Yeah, there's some Steps ones out there. Here's a look to the crease again, and Steps gets things scoring started 20 seconds in here this second half.
That was just a great look. I mean, and it was quick to the point. There was no messing around. And I believe that was Caitlin Davies, who should be taking over this game in the second half. She is really just a dynamic player. I mean, we've been hearing her name now for several summers. And again, just you cannot leave her unguarded, because if she gets her stick on the ball, it's going in the cage.
And a second goal of the game for Davies, the first coming off the free position.
That's a tough sun setting right now, too, for the Grizzlies goalie there.
And as we kind of expected, different goalie in for Connecticut.
As well as Steps.
Yep. I think that's Amelia Hughes in there. Tough to tell with the number of Steps. Quickly restarts again. And you mentioned hearing Davies' name for a couple of summers, Tracy.
Yes.
You know, all of these girls on this field right now, rising juniors, so essentially had a huge recruiting period for them. If anybody has collegiate lacrosse hopes, their sophomore season was erased essentially. So this is big opportunity for them, and a big chance to showcase their own talents for college coaches that are watching here on LSN.
Yeah, and the college coaches have been in a dead period, so they have not been allowed to have any contact, even camps, clinics, tournaments, nothing. You know, normally if it's a quiet period, at least they're allowed to teach and run camps and combines and things of that nature. But they are in a full-out dead period, and we're hoping that, you know, as of September 1, they can get back out on the fields again, because we really missed them and the girls really missed them.
Here's Davies on the 8-meter. Low shot, and that one either saved or off the near side post, but Steps able to hold on to it.
I think it was a little of both. I think the goalie got a piece of it and it went off the pipe.
Looked like it took a couple of caroms, but Steps will reset their offense. 1-goal game here between the Grizzlies and Steps Lacrosse.
See Steps being a little more patient, start the second half.
GLE, nice look inside and a save. Well done, standing tall in cage was Amelia Hughes.
Hughes made a great save, high to high. You know, in tight, the shot came great. You know, you usually don't like to go high around the crease, but she didn't really have any other shot or any other choice. And the goalie, if you're a good goalie and you understand the angles and what was going on, the goalie never moved. She knew exactly where the ball was going.
Nice outlet pass from Hughes. And here comes Connecticut, moving quickly, trying to dodge hard towards cage. And that one looked like it got stick checked out of Mulry's stick and gobbled up.
I think there was a little indecision. Do I pass it? Do I not pass it? Do I go to goal? And then, you know, while you're thinking all that through, the defense was able to stick check it.
That was Romeo, the netminder, in for Steps now. And Tracy, want to kind of get back to a point that you were making before about the quiet period for coaches right now, college coaches. You know, curious how you kind of forecast or see the situation playing out. You know, so many universities and conferences already calling sports off for the fall.
Unbelievable.
Teams are allowed to have activities, of course, you know, workouts and things of that nature. And you can kind of understand with so much travel across states and, you know, what, like, you know, you were even saying from your standpoint in New York, you're not allowed to play games out of state, so how might that
Correct.
look at the college level? You know, do you think that that period continues in depending on what happens as far as fall sports goes? Does it fall more under like administrative type things? You know, how do you kind of see that playing out from your position right now?
I'll tell you as soon as, okay, so the ball's a turnover here, so we can talk about it. Obviously, you know, being an administrator in a high school, I'm part of the reentry committee, and we're coming up with all different scenarios for all different situations. Sports has been put off minimally in high schools in New Jersey and New York till September 21st, and I think that's even, you know, not going to happen.
Conservative,
Yes.
probably, yeah.
So the whole thing is, you know, we all have mixed feelings about it. It's going to be up to Governor Cuomo in New York to make his final decision. I'd like to see life get back to normal, but might not be the majority. There are some people that are definitely stressed about sending their kids back to school.
Yeah, I think it's such a, you know, it's such a challenging situation as a parent. You know, you, me,
Correct.
seeing how the challenges that students dealt with trying to do stuff online,
But you
the
look at
social aspect of
Correct,
it.
but you look at the girls out here. Look, they're all here. The parents are all here. Everybody's ready. Everybody's ready to get back to some sort of normal life. This is just the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I look at this and it excites me. I was watching the commercials before on LSN on our monitor. I got to see my favorite, Taylor Cummings, in one of the, you know, and it just makes me smile every time I see Taylor. You know, she's the best player, or one of them in the world. I know she's dying to get back out on the field. I'd like to see her, you know, win some draws.
Here's DeFabio, who had a goal off the 8-meter in the first half, trying to make it 2 today, and she does. We are tied for the first time this evening, and it's 8 apiece.
When you haven't played in a long time, it's the halftime. Who comes out with that energy level again? You know, do you go off the field and you take your 5-10 minute halftime, and now all of a sudden your legs start to feel a little heavy? Do you feel, you know, that amped up that you were when the game started? And right here you see Steps is taking advantage of it. DeFabio makes a great shot. They've won virtually every draw to start this second half. So it's important right now that the Grizzlies step up, win the draw, and stop the roll. Everybody knows lacrosse is a game of rolls. You know, when one team gets hot, that's why you usually call the timeout, try to stop them from scoring, obviously. But right now, it's all about the draw. The Grizzlies need to win one here.
Steps Lacrosse coming out of the second half like the Grizz came out of the first half. You know, a lot of time of possession, a lot of control of the ball, and they win another draw. Perfect on the draw so far in half number 2.
But that was a great play by the young lady on the circle, and I want to, you know, I mean, that was just, I think it was number 33. It was Gogarty, if I'm not mistaken, just made a great play off of that draw.
Nice job extending out to save that one. It was Romeo. Oh, pardon me, Zanelli. So Zanelli, 2 goals back-to-back earlier in the first half.
This could be the first lead for Steps if she could bury this.
Straightaway opportunity, looks away, now fakes, shoots, and it's saved. Nice job standing tall in there for Hughes.
Hughes made, Zanelli made all the right moves except went high to high.
She looked the defense off.
You'll see right here, she gets all the way in, and instead of just bouncing that off the turf, goes stick side high.
As a goalie, you love locking eyes with that one and seeing it come right to where your stick's at.
No question.
So first real offensive possession in the second half for the Grizzlies. We played almost, or a little over 7 minutes already.
Taking the lead is very elusive to Steps. They've had a few opportunities now and haven't been able just to take that lead.
Nice look right to the crease for Callahan. Callahan bodied off the ball though, and it stopped.
Yeah, Callahan on that one needed to feel the pressure of the defense. It should have been a catch and shot instead of a catch and cradle. Sometimes when you cradle inside the critical scoring area, the 8 meter, you give the defense time to get on you.
Romeo in some trouble, but able to outlet ahead for Chupak. Chupak still holding and getting into the offensive area now. This is Melchioni, and a stop, back-to-back saves there for Hughes, whose confidence seems to be growing with each defensive stop.
Well, when I was talking to Coach Lindley before the game, you know, she made comparisons to Kaylee Waters on her goalie, which is, you know, the highest, you know, compliment that you can give.
Yeah, she said, I think at this stage in her development, she's probably a little further along than Waters was.
Absolutely, and that's saying something, I got to be honest, because Waters can flat out play.
Hughes having a good impression of this game early on in her appearance. Gave up the 2 early goals for Steps in the first couple minutes, but has made back-to-back saves now.
Right, and now we have Buckley in goal, I believe. Nice save, staying tall in there.
Is there food here? Is there some kind of concessions?
Trying to see the number on the Steps goalie. I can't make it out.
I think it's Romeo.
42. Yep,
And Guckin back there.
Romeo. Yep, Romeo. You are correct.
With the angle of the sun, the Steps numbers are a little hard to see right now. CT trying to redefend. About 10 minutes into the second half, we're tied at 8 apiece. It's been entertaining, close lacrosse game. Largest lead has been 3 today by the Grizzlies. Steps has yet to lead. Trying to do so for the first time on this possession.
Beautiful. You couldn't ask for a nicer evening right now. It's really turning out to be just a great everything for this game. I mean, I know, you know.
It was picked up, and that looked like Zanelli down low. Zanelli going low, pretty much a worm burner. And Steps has their first lead tonight.
Zanelli is always in the right place at the right time, and you'll see here, just comes up with the loose one and goes low. Nice play.
Steps goal, unassisted by number
Comes out of the
49,
pack on that and goes right to the
Zanelli.
cage. Aggressive move.
So Steps has scored 3 straight for the first time tonight. And has taken a lead for the first time tonight as well at 9-8. And to come back to the draws here, Tracy. Steps has gone 3 for 3 in this half. And Sarah Gresham in there now for Steps. And it looks like Maggie Ramsey for the Grizzlies.
The draws are just so pivotal in the sport of girls lacrosse. They always have been, they always will be.
So draw controlled by the Grizzlies. And McGuckin's got it. Guys team starting to file in at 8 o'clock Eastern. We have the Steps 2021 boys and New Jersey Riot Chaos 2021. We'll have that game for you as well. Nice dodge inside, going low. The shot will go wide. Looked like we were going to have a whistle coming up against Steps, but play continues.
But she had the flag out, so the shot got taken. She felt that the foul did not affect the shot adversely, so it's a play on.
Here comes Steps charging ahead. Nice job by Dylan Patton, really being a bother. And I mean that in a nice way on the ride there.
Yep, offsides there by the Grizzlies.
So Steps with it offensively. Gresham behind the cage for Avery Song. A little different offensive look here, Tracy. Really patient.
Correct.
Making sure everybody gets a touch. That's how they've come out in this second half. Defense collapses.
Yep, much more spread out. Just waiting for the defense to start to break down. So when you force the ball and you just dump it into the middle, that's what the defense wants you to do. What the defense can't stand is when you pass and move, skip passes, make them chase, you know, make them move. And then they get lost a little bit.
So Avery Song will restart for Steps out of Montclair Kimberly Academy. A shot going high. It looked like Hughes got a piece of that one.
Oh, Hughes made a great save on that one. That was headed for the top corner. She's just keeping the Grizzlies in this game right now.
3 saves in the last few minutes for Hughes.
It'll be interesting to see, you know, when we get closer to the 10-8 minute mark, how these teams play based on the score. I'm very curious.
A lot of lacrosse between now and then.
You hear Coach Walsh yelling on the sideline, keep your spacing, and he's absolutely correct.
Nice dodge and an even better save by Hughes. Off the stick of Davies. And the Grizz closest to that, it was Kaylee Harden on the end line.
Hughes made a great save on that. She's very, very impressive.
Hughes coming out of net to help Barlow. Patience for the Connecticut goalie. Looking for an outlet.
And the Grizzlies need to space out a little bit, get everybody out of everybody right now, the whole team is located between the 40s. So you just want to kind of get everybody out of there, make some green space.
Hughes able to get it off to Barlow, and she moves it back. You know, sometimes the biggest challenge with something like that is the goalie getting impatient and wanting to get the ball upfield.
Correct. You know, and sometimes if the goalie's not confident handling it and you peel off a defender to go chase her.
Here's Stein looking right on the doorstep, and a goal for CT.
Holy
Looked like
cow.
McGuckin taking a hit as she went down. That ties things up at 9.
That's not the first time McGuckin's done that today. I love the way she plays. Super aggressive, gets in there, and again, the contact doesn't bother her. She'll end up on the turf and still get off a high percentage shot.
So as we are tied midway through this second half, 9 apiece, we'll step aside. Be back in a moment from Mount Olive, New Jersey.
Grizzly goal scored by Holly McGuckin, number 18, assisted by number 24, Cece Stein.
We'd like to welcome the college coaching community taking in the action this evening. A reminder to download the Event Beacon app today for access to roster information. There's a lot of coaches tuning in this evening, getting a look at these rising juniors. Matt Shortis, Tracy Weiner with you as we're knotted up at 9 midway through this second half, and a big reason for that has been the play of Amelia Hughes in this second half.
Hughes is just on her game right now, and you know, for a second half, not having played all season, I mean, unbelievable how really hot she is, and that's the life of a goalie. You know, you're either the hero or the goat, and right about now, she's being the hero, and she is the reason that the Connecticut Grizzlies are still in this game. Look at that. That is just me and you. You try to beat me, it's not going to happen. And again, right here, just standing tall, stick to stick. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Draw controlled by Steps as they move left to right here in this second half. Look right on the crease, and Hughes got a piece of that one again. Ground ball to Steps as they keep the offensive possession alive. Trinity Kochi coming around here, Zanelli. Four goals so far scored in this second half, 3 of them belonging to Steps. Kosei behind the cage. Now it's Wazicki, who's been effective as a distributor. And there's a goal scored by Gogarty. Her first tonight, and Steps back on top, the first to reach 10 this evening.
And Hughes almost had that one. It was high to high again, but Gogarty put enough mustard on that it gets to the back of the cage. And, I mean, Hughes was right on it, but just did not make the save on that. Just snuck right by the stick. But you'll see here, catch, quick release. Does it every time. If Gogarty stops and cradles that for a few, the defense is going to collapse on her.
Kevin Gogarty, assisted by Regan Wazinski.
That is the 4th assist for Waziski tonight. As Gogarty getting her first goal this evening. Maddie Holden got the ground ball for Connecticut. And they haven't spent a lot of time trailing this evening.
No, but for as much time as they spent on offense in the first half, is as little time as they spent on offense in the second half.
Yeah, Steps has had it a ton in half number 2.
So Connecticut can't get impatient here, though, because they haven't had the ball. Now is when they really have to just break down the Steps defense.
Top it comes Harding. Double team out to her. Harding still with it, though. Harding able to get by a defender. And we'll have a whistle. And Harding will have a free position shot coming up.
When the double team comes out, if you're able to break the double team and then you go to goal, normally that slide will be obstruction of shooting space.
Here's Harding going hard towards cage, knocked away from behind. And I think we'll have a redo on this one.
I don't think so, unless...
No?
No, I think she's in the circle, so it'll be.
Okay.
We'll see what they call. I'm not sure if the back official called a foul or. You are correct.
Take another look at it here.
So you see here, the check comes from behind. Oh, there was body. Yep. So they are giving her another opportunity.
Oh, too aggressive by Kira Savage there. Harden this time just takes a couple of steps and lets it fly wide. On the ground ball, Connecticut will keep it. Evelyn Hitty resumes play. There's Stein with it. Stein knocked off the ball.
When you turn your back to the goal, sometimes when you're getting ready to do that roll dodge and you don't see the defender slide in, that's what happened to Stein. It was a great double team there.
Grizzlies fans in attendance not liking that call. So that's a sign things are back to normal. If
With that,
parents are upset at calls.
Well, you got a 1-goal game and you're getting close to the 10-minute mark, so yeah.
Fans are starting to get into it now as you mentioned, that getting close to the 10-minute mark. It's a 1-goal contest.
The sun's going down, everybody's getting a little more energy.
It's a nice covering here too. Steps with the advantage and the ball as we are inside 12 minutes to go in this contest. All up top, wide open was Zanelli. This will be obstruction, right?
Yes, definitely drew the obstruction of shooting space.
There was nobody within 5 yards of Catherine Zanelli.
Let's see if she just tries to muscle her shot off, or does she run it all the way in?
Already with 3 goals today for Steps, moves inside, shoots. Hughes got a piece of this one and
Hughes
collects it.
Held the pipe on that one, so Zanelli got kind of rode to the right-hand side if you're facing the cage. Hughes just stayed on the pipe. She had nowhere to shoot.
Hughes, we showed some saves of hers a few minutes ago. She's been impressive in this second half. Coming over midfield is Dylan Patton. As Patton veers back to her right. And CT will slow it down a little bit.
But let's see if Walsh tries to run some time off the clock. You know, this is the old school way when you don't have the shot clock. Pulling it out and slowing the game down a tad. I've had the luxury of doing quite a few of Coach Walsh's summit games, so I know his coaching style just a little bit.
Have you played against them as well?
I have.
From Farmingdale?
Yes. I have. They've been great games. Lately, he's gotten the best of me, but in the beginning, I got the best of him. So, but the last few years, Summit's just been unbelievable.
Nice job by the Steps defense.
Oh, that was the Grizzlies on offense. So let's see now what Steps does on offense. So the Grizzlies were down by 1. They were trying to be patient, but didn't work out.
Real nice job re-defending from Cece Stein.
Stein was smart right there. She didn't have the opening.
And Stein lost it trying to cradle.
Correct.
And then right on her back hip was Murphy. And Murphy able to scoop out the ground ball, but then Murphy lost it. Whistle going against the Grizzlies here, and
timeout.
Get a timeout here.
Okay, so this is interesting. So we'll see how it is. So I had it backwards, unfortunately, before. It was the Grizzlies that had the ball on offense. But now that Steps has the ball, we'll see what Coach Walsh does, knowing that he's within the almost 8.5-minute mark, up by 1, and there is no shot clock. The Grizzlies did a nice job before of getting the possession, trying not to force it, but the Steps defense stepped up and really forced that turnover on Stein.
So we get a late timeout by Steps. As Coach Walsh talking to his team. This is the go-ahead goal right now. Gogarty from Wazicki. And that happened about 6 minutes ago at this point.
Yeah, that's just, sneaking in behind the defense, stick up, waiting for that pass. And again, doesn't waste any time cradling. Just a catch and shoot.
In the first half, at the 8:35 mark, which is roughly where we are right now, the score was 3-2. So it was pretty low scoring for the first 22-ish minutes of the first half. It ended up being an 8-6 halftime score. So there were 9 goals scored after that 8.5-minute mark of the first half. Right now, there have been 5 goals scored in this second half at about the same mark. So we'll see. That last 8.5 minutes of the first half was just a barrage of teams scoring on almost every possession.
Yeah, you're not going to see that moving forward. Just because, again, with no shot clock, whoever gets possession, if they're up, they're going to be very patient. And I'm not saying that they're going to not go to goal, but they're going to try to run some time off the clock and then make sure that they have the perfect high percentage shot.
It'll be a bit more of an old school look.
Correct.
And the Grizzlies, without a couple of their key defenders, in Brooke Edwards and Gwyn Sullivan, there's some injuries in this week preparing for this game. Which is, unfortunate. You wait all spring to finally get a chance to play again.
Yes, it is unfortunate, but it's such a normal part of the game.
So you're feeling like Steps will give us more of an old school look.
We see how spread out they are. They're just going to stay in that big circle and just keep passing it around until the Grizzlies come out and challenge them. There's no need for them to go to goal right now. They're winning. So they're just going to stay wide. They're going to try to force the defense to come out after them. And the slides are so difficult when you're that far out that it's to the offensive advantage at that point.
And only a 1-goal game. I was about to ask how long you wait before you start pushing things out, but Lisa Lidley answered our question there.
Oh, she sure did.
Which was not very long. Here's Steps moving in, and Hughes another stop. Top of her stick, deflected that one away. Out of bounds it goes, and it'll be Connecticut ball.
That was great hustle right there. I mean, Jessica Leon really, first of all, a great save. And then Leon just hightails it because there's 2 Steps girls running with her and ends up with the possession for her squad. I can hear Coach Lindley all the way up here. She's so funny. I've played her more than I've played Coach Walsh, I'll tell you that, because we had a yearly game against Darien. And if she would come to me one year, I would go to them. She would come to me. Always a great game, great time.
I feel like Coach Lindley has a lot of those ongoing sort of Long Island rivalries coming down across the Sound. Here's Steps pushing forward. One-on-one here, and shot got denied before it got to Hughes, and then knocked down again here.
Yeah, there's no need for a shot right there. It's unfortunate that the Grizzlies needed to get that ball over cleanly in transition. They were unable to. So your Steps, if you have the one on nobody, sure, you're going to go to goal. But at that point, once the defender caught up to you, your coach has already told you in the timeout to be patient. We want to run 2 to 3 minutes off the clock or force their defense to come out against us. So she'll give her defense a little rest, Coach Lindley will, and then about 30 seconds from now, she's going to send them all out. Let's go.
Each team getting 1 timeout per half. There's a shot going top shelf, and Steps extends the lead to 2.
Wow, that was just that was a great play. And of course, it's Davies. I'm not even surprised. I mean, that's who, you know, you got to keep an eye on. She's their primetime player. And right here, that's a tough catch, a tough hit, but a tougher shot. And that's what, you know, you want from your go-to girl. Unbelievable. I mean, that's just a top quality highlight play right there.
Melchione on the assist.
And now you're going to have to see the Grizzlies be a little more aggressive. They need to win this draw. They need to get possession here and go right to goal. They do have 6 minutes, which, as you know, you can score several goals in 6 minutes. But what you don't want to do is not have possession.
Melchione had the assist on that last goal. Davies, number 3 today.
Big draw win right there by the Grizzlies.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Let's see what they do with it.
So they led by as many as 3 in the first half. Have trailed essentially since the 14:29 mark, so the last 9 minutes or so of this contest.
We see what Steps is made out of. They continue to come back all the time from, you know, being down. This is the first time the Grizzlies are really down. Let's see, you know, what they're made of here.
Flag is up, as that'll send McGuckin to the free position line.
Well, she's been scoring all afternoon, so.
And she's got 4 tonight. Few steps in, bounces one wide. A battle for it in the football end zone here. And it is Steps coming away with it. Olivia Huntley-Robertson using all her height trying to keep that one away, and then it's deflected away, but Steps has it once more.
A lot of back checking, a lot of hustle. The officials are letting them play as they should. They've done a great job tonight.
Kosei coming up the field with a little trouble here on the near sideline, but able to roll out of that. Inside 5 minutes to play.
You see
Two-goal contest.
Oh, what a play by Hughes. Coach Walsh had his hands out to spread wide. He did not want that to happen.
Hughes in some trouble as the ball knocked away. Wide open in front goal. Put home by Ashley Thomas. And that is the risk reward you have with Hughes coming out of net to try and take that away.
No question about it. You know, Hughes came out and made the steal, but unfortunately there were so many Steps players around her that she wasn't able to keep control of it. Tried to get back as fast as she could, but right here you see surrounded by Steps players. Thomas doesn't miss on that. Took her time, was very patient.
Wazicki
Assisted by number 47.
nice job once more taking that away. 5th assist of the game. And Steps will have it out of the draw here.
Yep, climbed the back to try to win that draw. Can't do that. And now let's see what Steps does here.
So a bit of a slow start for Steps today, but they have found their stride as we move into this late stage of this game. Hughes, another stop.
See what they do with this. That play may, you know, end up being huge if the Grizzlies are able to come back in this game.
Seemed a little surprised that they rushed that shot
I
so
was
quickly.
definitely surprised.
Nice stop down the other end, this time by Romeo.
You know, the girls are exhausted too at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been running for almost 60 minutes in this heat. You know, haven't done this in the longest time. Stepped out of bounds on that. So it's a turnover. But the Grizzlies are going to have to work quick right now.
I mean, Tracy, when you mention that, probably the longest time in many of these girls' lives that they've not participated in a sporting event.
No question.
I mean, a lot of the girls are multi-sport athletes,
Correct.
whether it be soccer or basketball or just lacrosse. A lot of the calendar.
Yeah, if you want to play lacrosse year-round, that's never an issue. The the Grizzlies are being patient, but they really need to push it just a little bit and have their play go to goal.
Stein. Another stop by Romeo. So Romeo with some crucial saves here late.
So when you haven't played all year and you get into your first game, these are things that you need to see. You know, when my team is down, what do I do? What plays do I call? Who's my go-to? How do we set up the money play, as we call it? I would be surprised if Steps went to goal at this point.
A little over 2 minutes remaining.
Steps' defense really stepped up in the second half. When you think about the fact that they've let up, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, 1 goal the entire second half.
Yep. That was goal to make it 9-9.
I mean, in club lacrosse, that's unheard of.
And then before that, got to go back to the 3:29 mark of the first half for the last Connecticut goal before that. Inside 90 seconds to go. Here, Mike Walsh from the sideline. Saying keep it wide.
Yeah, last minute, and again, in college, you can't do this. They have a 90-second shot clock, so you would not be able to run out, you know, the clock from 3, 4, 5 minutes on.
Rule change that went into effect in the last few years. I mean, just impressive,
got it.
Tracy, the way that Steps came out in this second half and had almost a completely different mindset than what we saw in the first half.
Absolutely, but, you know, for me, the whole tempo of this game could have been changed in the first 10 minutes. The Grizzlies really had Steps, you know, reeling, and they could have ran off 4, 5, 6 goals to take a large lead, and they were unable to do that. And they always let Steps hang around until Steps was able to get themselves together, make the adjustments that they needed to make, and win this game.
Final seconds ticking away as the fans here happy to see their daughters, sisters, friends playing live again as Steps in a big second half knocks off the CT Grizzlies by a final score of 12-9. So we'll be back. Mike Walsh, the Steps head coach, will join us in a moment here from Mount Olive, New Jersey. Steps victorious today, 12-9. We're back at Mount Olive High School. 12-9, Steps defeating the CT Grizzlies. And here from the audio, Mike Walsh, the head coach of Steps, now joins us. And Coach, it seemed like you guys, Matt and Tracy up here in the booth, it seemed like your team came out with a bit of a different mindset in the second half and offensively looked really, really strong and had a lot more possession in that second half. What did you see from your crew in those first 3 minutes there?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I think the possession was key. We did a much better job on draw control. Listen, I thought our defense played a great game. We caused some turnovers, and then some of the problems we had in transition in the first half, I thought we were able to clean up in the second half. I think, you know, in this situation, it's certainly the case for both teams. These kids missed a whole high school season. This was kind of a big stage for them.
Hey, Walsh, do you think it took them a little while just to get their legs out from under them? Because, I mean, your defense, to hold a team down to 1 goal in the second half, I mean, that's really unheard of, whether it's high school club or whatever. But I do think it was your domination in between the 30s in the second half that did you well.
Well, Trace, we kind of pride ourselves on our defense. We definitely do that. And I actually think I got some pretty good defenders, and it's a variety of kids, and they just play, good, tough, hard-nosed defense, and they're willing. They want to cause the turnovers, which is so important at this level.
And Coach, obviously a unique situation, probably in your coaching career. All these girls, for you guys all to get back to it tonight. What did you experience? What did you notice from your team that maybe might have been taken for granted or anything in years past?
Well, I'm so thankful for Lacrosse Sports Network and Sports Recruits and Mount Olive High School and Charlie Schulberg and the Connecticut Grizzlies for coming out and putting this on. I think it was something that's long overdue in girls lacrosse getting this kind of recognition, but also I think it was just great for these kids given that they'd lost their high school season.
Walsh, it was good seeing you run up and down the sideline, that you're still in great shape, man. That made me happy. So congratulations on a big win and just a great night. Huh?
Thanks, Trace. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
No problem, Coach. Appreciate you joining us.